Hi, Christina here from Artisanthropy with a technique video to help you work a provisional cast-on, which we're using for our Riverdale knit-along. The benefit of this cast-on method is that you are left at the end with live stitches, which can then be picked back up on your needle to continue working from. The pattern we're using for the knit-along calls for this method, as we will knit the hat flat, then join together the beginning and ends to finish up. Don't worry, I'll walk you through the technique used for that in a later video as the KAL progresses. For a provisional cast-on without the use of a crochet hook, you'll need your needles, some waste yarn, and the yarn you'll be using for your project. So let's get started. Create a slip knot around your two needles and tighten. Doubling over your needles ensures the stitches come out to the right size once the first row is knit. This also helps to combat tight cast-ons. Hold the tail of the working yarn in your right hand. Pick up your waste yarn, holding the tail of it in your right hand as well. Now you'll move the working yarn in front of your waste yarn. Then pull it up behind your waste yarn, up and over your needles, back down behind the needles, and cross it over in front of the waste yarn as it comes back down. Now, pull it up behind the waste yarn, back up over the needles, back down behind the needles, and cross it over in front of the waste yarn as it comes back down. Pull the working yarn up behind the waste yarn, up over the needles, down behind them, bringing it back in front of the waste yarn on the way back down. Continue in this manner until you have the amount of stitches you need to cast on. You'll need to end the row with the waste yarn pulled around the last stitch on the needle. Now, pull your second needle out from the stitches and knit your first row into the stitches that are on the remaining needle. Once you've done this, you can pull the waste yarn taut to straighten out the stitches on it. Now you see why we double the needle size during the cast-on. To finish up, after you've finished knitting the rows the pattern calls for, you would simply insert your needle into the stitches that are currently held on the waste yarn before proceeding with the next part of the pattern. For now, we're done. Good luck!